Welcome back to Access Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough and review of Naruto Shippuden episode 304. Now, if you remember the last episode, we find out the Sound 4 have returned. I know, and they're fighting their counterparts who defeated them before. Choji, Kiba, Neji, Shakamaru. It's an amazing matchup. However, the end result being, even though the Sound 4 are reanimated shinobi, they're defeated in one episode, all four of them, and that kind of pisses me off. I was expecting so much. I mean, I had all of this nostalgia built up, and it was just taken away from me in just one fucking episode. But moving on past that, guess what? The Sound 4, although have been defeated yet again, they still have an ace up their sleeve, the Transportation Jutsuo Formula Underworld Transfer. I know it's a long name, a long title in general, but it does absolutely nothing to Choji and everyone else other than it passes them out and they're unconscious per se. And I thought, okay, this is, I mean, in the title it says transportation. I thought it was going to take them to a different location, like I said in the last review I did. But no, their souls have been removed. Their bodies have remained, but their souls have been transported to a barrier created by Kabuto. Just putting that out there. And again, that's where the episode ends. And I'll have my final thought and rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned. But let's dive right on in. So we open up this episode with Neji's group in general, Neji and the rest of the group, you know, Shakamaru, their bodies in general, and they've been found by the allied shinobi. So Neji, Shakamaru, Choji, and Kiba, their bodies have been found by the allied shinobi, but they're not bringing them to any of the medical units per se, because they still don't know if Neji and everyone else, even though their bodies are there, if they are the real Neji and everyone else. They don't know if they're white Setsue or not, if that makes any sense. So they're being very precautious. So they're not going to bring them anywhere. They're just going to keep them where they're at. So we're taken to a different scene with Hinata, and she uses her Byakugan, and I love seeing her use her Byakugan. And she notices that all of the characters that are around her, Neji and everyone else in general that are near her, yeah, their chakra is still inside flowing, but it's stopped. It's in a suspended animation, which is not really a good sign, but it's not a bad sign. Doesn't mean they're dying, but you know, they're in a suspended animation, which is not really a good sign. So they're kind of unconscious, which kind of sucks in my opinion. So we're taken to a different scene with Ino. Now Ino uses her medical ninjutsu, which I love seeing, and she tries to save them. And when I mean them, I mean Shakamaru as well as Choji. And I thought, okay, this is a different side I like seeing of her, because she's taking the initiative by herself, since everyone else is, you know, she has the allied shinobi, but that's it. Her partners are passed out, and she makes Choji and Shakamaru hold hands. I thought at first she was doing like a gay moment, making fun of them because they were passed out. Seriously, it was the gayest scene in the goddamn episode. But there's a reason. Apparently, she connected their hands. She holds their hands as well, and she's trying to feed them her chakra to keep them alive, or at least that's what it looks like. And I was convinced it was, although a gay scene at first, it was still worth watching. I like seeing it. Now, moving on past that, we're taken to a different scene with Shino, and he's using his bugs to save Kiba as well as Neji. It's kind of risky because he has to focus his own chakra into each individual bug, which is draining his own life force. So it's kind of risky, but he's going to do anything to save his own teammates, his friends. So more power to him. I never gave him enough credit. I'm giving him credit now. But moving on past that, we find out each group attempts to contact headquarters. So you have Hinata's group and Ino's group. They're trying to contact the headquarters to find out what to do next, because they're kind of screwed right now because they aren't really getting any direction, since both of their leaders are kind of unconscious right now. Now, technically, I don't believe Neji is in control. I think it's like a shared partnership between Hinata and Neji, but that's just my own opinion. But as for Shakamaru and Choji, Shakamaru's technically in charge of that group, so I thought that was definitely worth mentioning. But again, sorry, I digress. Moving on to a different scene. We're taken to a different scene with Kabuto. Now, Kabuto, he explains that Choji and the rest of the group were transported into a barrier that was specially made for them, and they've been reanimated in the sense that they're still alive in the real world, their bodies, but their souls have been reanimated into this little barrier that's been specially made for them. And guess what? If their physical bodies die in the real world, they die in this world. And that's really sucks in my opinion. But again, that's where we open up with. Moving on past that, we are taken to a different scene with this special barrier that we keep hearing about. And the Sound 4 appear out of nowhere, so they're also in the barrier. And at the same time, Neji and the rest of the group, they're also in the barrier. And, you know, their physical bodies aren't with them. we just get to see their souls, but it looks like it's their physical bodies regardless, so nothing's really changed. Now we're taken to a different scene with Shikamaru, and he wants Neji to use his Byakugan to check out everyone's chakra among their group to make sure everyone's there and they're capable of using their own chakra in general. And apparently he checks everyone out and everyone's good to go. So I thought that was definitely worth mentioning. However, there's a catch. Although their chakra is good to use, Neji can't see outside of the barrier. He can't see anything, and that's kind of a concern. Now, I should also point out the Sound 4 attack right off the bat. They don't really have a plan, but they see Shikamaru trying to think of something, and they just attack him directly, or they're about to. And I thought, well, this is a Sound 4. They never really have everything planned out. They just do stuff random, and that's why they act so independently all the time. So we're taken to a different scene, and here's the basic plan that apparently Choji kind of puts on the group and the rest of the group come up with. Basically, they're going to stall for Shikamaru in general, and what I mean by stall, they're going to stall the Sound 4 while Shikamaru stays behind to think of a plan in general. He's going to analyze everything and come up with something, which is what Shikamaru's pretty much good at. However, we are taken to a different scene with Choji, and he's the first one to attack. He uses his spiky hair boulder, and I love seeing this attack. It's definitely unique. However, we're taken to a different scene with Neji. He uses his 8 trigram 2 palms. I believe that's what he used. If I pronounced that wrong, I apologize, but you know what, I'm not much of a Neji fan right now. I'm more of a Shikamaru fan, but again, Neji does attack as well, and it's, yeah, I guess it's something. And again, everyone else starts fighting, and they dodge. Now, Neji's actually being targeted, and it looks like the arrow's about to hit him, but it doesn't. Like, I swear to God, I thought Neji was going to die because his back was turned, but he is not. But it is an intense fight. You can definitely feel the energy. But we are taken to a different scene with Tayuya, and Tayuya points out to everyone that's not part of Sound 4 that they are immortals. They're reanimated shinobi, so why bother trying? You're going to lose. This is what we call bragging rights of the villain. She has a point, but she doesn't have to brag about it, because you know what? She's a stuffed up bitch anyways. No one wants to hear it from her. All she does is use her fucking flute. Hand-to-hand wise, she sucks. You take her flute away, and she's just another bitch off the street. So Tayuya, go fuck yourself. Just because you're reanimated doesn't mean you can't die just like everyone else. You know, a sealing jutsu can seal you up and you're screwed. Just putting that out there, but sorry, I digress. Now, we are taking to a different scene with a little information that's being thrown right at us. Now, Shikamaru actually gives 3 reasons why they can't win. And I'm like, wait, Shikamaru's giving 3 reasons on why he can't win, or why the group can't win in general? This is not like him. Usually he has all of his moves, you know, played out in his head, like so many moves in advance. For him to say they can't win, he's giving 3 reasons, is kind of devastating in my opinion. This kind of lowers my expectations of him. So he points out the Sound 4 originally possessed Jonin strength. That was in the past, Jonin, like Kakashi level power. And in my opinion, that's not really true. But now that they're reanimated and they're immortal per se, well, they're probably going to be a lot stronger. And that's reason number 1. That's really not much of a reason. That's an excuse. Now, the second reason he gives is there's no guarantee. If they defeat the Sound 4, are they going to be taken out of this barrier? Yeah, there's no real guarantee. So even if they win, it probably won't matter. They're still going to be fucked regardless. Now, just before he's about to talk about the third reason, which we don't get to find out, there is no third reason. He was cut off. He was interrupted by the Sound 4, and they use a summoning jutsu, the 4-corner beast formation, which definitely interesting. We've seen part of this before, but you know, not surprised. It didn't really wow me. So we're taken to a different scene with Shikamaru, and he snaps out of this little delusion that they can't win, and he becomes the leader that we know him. Again, he has this brief little flashback of what he did last time he was fighting the Sound 4 in general, and like the end result of what happened. But again, he snaps out of it, and he starts to lead this group. Now, apparently, he tells Neji and everyone else, "You're all going to move on my command." I'm like, thank you. He's woken up from this shitty little delusion that he sucks, and now he's taken the reins, he's taken control, and he basically tells everyone the same formation as before. I'm like, so this is the same formation they used in the past. I'm like, okay, so nothing really changed. So we're taken to a different scene, and the main goal that Shikamaru basically tells everyone, our object is to get out of this barrier and get back into the real world, onto the battlefield. That's our main goal. So stay focused on that, because we're not leaving any man behind. So we're taken to a different scene with Naruto. Finally, we get to see where Naruto actually is at. He catches up with some allied shinobi group, and apparently they're going to this allied group he caught up with. They're going to join up with a second company to provide logistical support. you know, that's kind of interesting. But Naruto attacks the guy he was talking to, and apparently the guy he was talking to, which was technically an allied shinobi or dressed up as one, was a white Setsue. He scans around the rest of the guys, and he's like, okay, you guys are good, there's no more white Setsue. And then he asks the next group leader, who replaces the white Setsue he attacked, do any of you guys have like are you guys in contact with HQ? Can I talk with HQ through any of you guys? And the answer is no. None of the group members can talk to headquarters. But one of the members does point out to Naruto there's I guess the southern encampment has a headquarters communicator, so maybe they can help you. I'm like, okay, that was nice. And yet again, a waste of time to see this little clip with Naruto. I mean, he could have been fighting. I mean, the white Setsue thing was interesting. You know, I didn't see that coming really, but could have been more. So we are taken to a different scene with headquarters, and they contact both Hinata and Inu, and apparently they have a solution to what's actually occurring with Neji and everyone else. But you know, the sad part is they can't do anything because they don't know where Choji and everyone else are located. Yes, they know where their physical bodies are, but they don't know where their souls are located. Once they find the location, yes, they can help. But right now, they can't do shit. Of course, moving on past that, we're taken back to the Sound 4 battle, and it just continues on and on. Now, there is a little bit of a secret that's being leaked out about the barrier. Now, I thought, okay, so what's this big secret? I mean, even if the Sound 4 is defeated, the barrier will not let Neji and everyone else go. I'm like, okay, yeah, we already know that. That's a done deal. But apparently, to end this little game, this little battle, if they die in the real physical world, obviously Neji and everyone else are going to die. But if they die in this special barrier, they also die. So if they get defeated in this special barrier, then they also die in both worlds. And that's really not good news if you look at it either way. That's terrible news. But again, that's where the episode ends. As for final thoughts, okay, first of all, is Neji, Shikamaru, Choji, and Kiba gonna escape? I think so. I'm gonna bet on it. They're gonna escape, but not unscathed. I think they're gonna be bruised, probably bad in some cases. We don't really know, but I can't wait to find out. Moving on past that, Naruto. Once you catch up with the southern encampment, what are you gonna do with this communicator? One of the members that can communicate with the HQ. What are you gonna ask them? I'm curious. Are you gonna ask them about this bad vibe you had about the Sound 4? Maybe we don't really know. Moving on past that, where are you, Sasuke? Where are you, Itachi? Come on, don't leave us in the dark, Itachi. At least let us know where Itachi's at. Where is he on the battlefield? That's all I want to know. As for Killer B, go fuck yourself. I don't care where you're at right now, man. You've been off screen too long, so I don't give a damn. But again, that is it for my final thoughts. As per my rating, 3.5 out of 5. I want to give this a 4, and by all means I should. Because, you know, the Sound 4 was nice, nostalgia, but the fights were just not there. We were always interrupted by something, or we're doing a pathetic cutscene with Naruto, so I can't give any points when it comes to fights, but they kind of were there, but at the same time they weren't. Hopefully next episode will be drawn out more. As for information, yes, we got a little bit of information, but it didn't wow me enough. I mean, about the special barrier, yes. About individual characters and their progression, no. We didn't really see that. So final rating, 3.5 out of 5. But again, guys, that ends it for now. That ends it for my walkthrough review of Naruto Shippuden episode 304. But definitely comment down below. Let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Definitely subscribe. Check me out on Twitter. And follow me if you like. But let me know what you thought of this episode. And let me know what you think's going to happen in the next episode that's coming out. But again, guys, that ends it for now. And I got to hit the bricks. And I got to go. And before I go, I got to say it. And I always say it. You can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.